Hello and welcome to this tutorial video on GalactiTrader. This is my competition entry for Ludum Dare 30. So let's get started real quick. What GalactiTrader is, it's a planetary resources trading game where you trade planetary resources and you try to gain influence over other planets. The game has 5 resources that you trade. And that's seen here in this help document. It's energy, minerals, water, food, and technology. And each of those is worth a certain number of influence points. To get influence points for trading a particular resource, you have to supply a planet with one of those resources. So you have to what I call create an outgoing trade lane from your planet to another planet that needs that resource. So the influence points that you get are pretty much 1 point for all the resources except for water and food, which will gain you 2 influence points. When you start the game, all the planets will be color-coded as to the resources that they need. So, for example, like this one right up here, he needs, since he's got a blue and green, that means he needs water and food. So if you are another planet who doesn't need those also, you can supply one of those to him. And when somebody supplies a resource to another planet, that part of the color will turn white. So for example, this planet right down here has had all of his resources supplied. So apparently he needed water and he needed energy, and he's got those. But you also notice that's another thing, is the influence points that a planet gains will show over the top of each planet. But if you look at this guy, he has all of his needs met, but he has no points. That's because he has no outgoing trade lanes. You see, these are both incoming to meet his needs. Now, whenever your needs are met, you get what is called an influence multiplier. So, and that just basically multiplies your total influence score by a number. It starts at 1, and when you meet one need, it goes to 2, and when you meet both of your needs, it goes to 3. So, you know, if you traded water with a planet, you would have 2 resource points over that planet, and then if you met both of your needs after that, you would have 2 times 3, or 6 influence points total. I'm afraid so I'm just going to start a game real quick. The controls are in the help, but basically you move around with the mouse and you right click and hold to drag, and the planet, your home planet, is indicated by a halo. See it right here, and right off the bat you can see that I need technology and I need food. And you see this guy right here needs water and energy, and this guy here needs minerals and technology. So I can trade with either one of these, but I'll tell you, I'm liking to be able to supply that guy with some water because I know I get 2 influence points for that. So I'm going to do that. And so I've just done that. So I have 2 influence points now. And it looks like I can, and remember what I said, you can only open up 1 trade lane per planet. So I can't trade with this guy anymore, see the red. So I can trade with this guy, and I can get food from him, which would increase my influence multiplier, or I could give him minerals. If I get food from him, yeah, I'll go to a 4. Apparently I still lost because he's supplying me. Looked at that a little. So let's play again real quick. One of the other things, I'm not sure if it's actually, when you supply a planet with a resource, when you have an outgoing trade lane to a planet like this, and he has an outgoing trade lane, also you will get half of his influence for each of those outgoing trade lanes that he has. So that's something else to keep in mind. Let's see if there's anything else. when the computer, whenever the other, when the other planets trade, the first thing they try to do is meet their needs. So each planet is going to try to meet their needs first. But of course, they're going to trade with other CPU planets or computer-controlled planets. And they will not trade with you directly. You have to initiate trades with them. And they also have a limited trading radius. And that's another thing. You can actually go and look and see what their trading radius is. So there I am, and I can actually see what I can trade with. Of course, it's going to be both of these planets because I can supply them with at least one of the two needs they have. So if I either hold down X or my mouse wheel, it will draw a line saying I can open up a trade lane between either of those two planets. But I can also mouse over one of these other planets and say, who can you trade with? And it's going to tell me he can trade with him. And of course, with just these 3 planets, they won't trade with me, so you won't see that. But that's just something else that you can use to, kind of figure out how you want to strategize things. Like for example, here, this planet right here, you see, I put my mouse over it. It's red, which means I can't trade with it because he has the same needs that I have, so I can't meet any of his needs. But I can mouse over him and look and see who he can trade with. Of course, it's obvious, the trade radius right now in these lower levels doesn't really come into play until it starts spreading out some more. And then, of course, I can just mouse click anywhere, and it will show me the planets that I can trade with. I can start trading. And then also there's a little menu down here that basically you can regenerate the level, which means if you don't like the planet layout that it gives you, you can just completely regenerate it. Or if you make a mistake and you want to try again with the same planet layout and resources, you can just say restart that level and it'll restart it for you. You can also quit. And that's another thing, you can skip your turn. I'm not sure if this is beneficial or not, but I did add it in there just in case, it might be, I don't know. You can skip your turn, and in which case each of the other planets will then make one trade, and then it will be your turn again. So that's how that works. And then you can see my total influence score up here, and the influence score here is basically every successful level that gets completed, your influence score for that level will get added to this influence, and that's, I guess, sort of a merit badge as to how well you have done in the game. So yeah, I think that's about it. Trying to think if there's anything else. Take a look at the controls. Regular keyboard, WASD to move the camera, Q and E move the camera up and down, and then the left mouse button will select that planet to trade with. So you mouse over a planet, and then you click the select button. And then the mouse movement, the right mouse, you can also move your right mouse over a planet, highlight it, and right click on it, and the camera will zoom to that planet. And then, of course, you can right mouse and drag to move the camera. And then looks like one I didn't put in here, which is scroll wheel. You can use your scroll wheel to zoom. I think that about does it. I've got just a few more minutes, and I saw a couple of things that I need to fix. So with that, that's it for now, and I hope that it's at least interesting. Thanks a lot.